All right, here we go, everybody. This is this. In case you guys don't know, this is one of the very famous people that I follow on TikTok. You go by Ripped Redneck. Introduce yourself and tell them where they can find you.
Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is actually JD. Go by Ripped Redneck on TikTok and pretty much all my social media. I'm on Instagram, YouTube. You can go to rippedredneck.com and find all the links you need, and go from there. Do have a couple of other accounts on TikTok for whenever I eventually get banned on my main account, so you can find those on there as well. But that's kind of the easiest place, is just go to rippedredneck.com, and then has all my socials on there and everything you can need to reach out to me.
Yeah, it's very important on TikTok to have backups. Now, the fucked up thing about this is I had been following you on TikTok since I got there, and of course you look familiar, but like, so the other day he sends me this message. He's like, "Hey man, it's an honor to be on the same platform with you. I've been a fan of your stuff forever." I'm like, "Oh, that's fucking great." And he was like, "You've actually watched my shit before. You did a Tyrone video."
Yeah. Me and my buddy, his name's Peters. We first tried doing the YouTube thing a while back. It ended up not working, which I actually was going to bring that up to you also here in a little bit. I thought it was ironic, but so it just the timing didn't work that well for the channel. But what we ended up doing is we did make one video that did resonate pretty well. And actually, the reason I remember you saw is because you commented on it, and I even showed it when I was like, "Dude, the king himself commented on our video. We're doing good." And so it was basically just making fun of like following Tyrone's instructions to the T and how dangerous it was, because we did everything he said, and we almost burned my house down.
That was the video. That was the one with the onions, right? Where he was cutting the onion in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, and I get a lot of shit. Like, a lot of people now are really pissed that I don't make videos about him anymore. I think the world there's a couple things, especially for YouTube. Like, I've actually thought about doing some stuff about him on TikTok, just like quick shit, just to be entertaining. But at the same time, then people get like, they're like, "Well, why won't you do it here?" The thing is, for YouTube, and I think people have seen this, like, they obviously want you to do a very certain kind of content here, right?
Yeah.
But my kind of content is not what they're really looking for. And what people need to understand is, even the comedy stuff, like the Tyrone videos and the V-Shreds videos, like the roasting videos, they do not reward those at all, whatsoever on this app. At all. It's like the app lost its entire sense of humor in 2020. You know.
I actually noticed that, because like whenever I go to show some, because like some of your videos are still classic to me. Like, I had to hunt them down after I believe it was like the main account got pulled or something.
Yeah.
So I showed them to a lot of people, and some of the people I show them to these days, they don't laugh as hard as I do. And I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. This is comedy. Like, this is awesome. Yeah. And I think they're kind of like, just the point misses them as to why I still go back and watch them, and they crack me up to this day. But yeah, YouTube really doesn't really push that much anymore.
And to be real, like I got kind of sick of doing them. Like, it's the same shit. Like, he's just a dumb fuck. Like, I mean, like, people keep asking me, like, if I'm going to do one. I will tell you this. Here's, like, if you want to watch V-Shreds videos, Sean Najaway, I believe is his name. I think Sean makes very funny V-Shreds videos in a very kind of sarcastic way that I truly appreciate. I watch most of his videos, and I really like him. And if you want to get really good comedy, like a really good Tyrone comedy, like to get a good laugh from about his videos, just watch his videos. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to encourage everybody, as much as humanly possible, to just go watch. If you want the comedy that is surrounding him, just go watch his videos, because he is like literally that fucking stupid. Like, I mean, people have told me they think it's an act. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it's an act at all. I don't think it's possible for it to be an act. You know, I just really don't.
You would think he would have slipped up by now with some of those videos and kind of shown that it wasn't an act. This guy really believes a lot of the stuff that he says on that channel, and I'm just blown away by it. I'm like,
well, that's the thing. But in the green room, so to speak, you and I were talking about how, like, that was one of the things I pride myself in. This is me. Like, I mean, like, I don't play a character, shit like that. I can do live, and it's still like, unfortunately, sometimes this is just fucking who I am, you know? And you would see him, like, other people, you see them slip up. They're different in different videos and stuff like that. I just don't believe. I think this is just I think he is stupid as fuck, and he can't possibly be faking it that well. Like, that's my thing. So, and again, like, and after a while, it's like, now I'm just picking on a dumb fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, so that's crazy. But so you went from that, it's like, so now you do social media full time now. Like
Yeah.
it's your whole thing, man.
Yeah,
So that
I'm actually going to be working towards more YouTube content, but I'm going to try, like what you said, like different platforms for different style of content. So the skits and everything will be on TikTok, but then when it comes to my YouTube, I'm going to start pushing towards more kind of reactionary stuff where I talk about just random stuff that I see online, or talk about things that are going on in the social sphere and stuff like that. Because like we were talking about, TikTok is one of the most woke apps out there, but at the same time, I also noticed that it's having an adverse reaction to a lot of stuff. So like one of the first videos I'm going to do is, I'm a huge Dexter fan,
yeah,
absolutely Dexter.
me
And so
too. Love it.
and this new season came out, and I love the spin that they put on it. Like they kind
Dude,
of
the new season's
yeah,
fucking killing it.
yeah. And so I loved it. And then what happened was I noticed when I was watching, I went to the reviews, and the reviews were all the 1-star reviews had the same problem.
What's that?
They were mad because there happened to be a gay guy in it, and that the girl says cisgendered in the title in one of the episodes. I was like, okay, first of all, you're out of your mind if you think that a gay guy is not going to live. There's not going to be at least one gay guy in a town of 1,200.
Yeah,
Gay people exist. Just get over it. Like,
get over that shit.
Why you're getting so mad that there's a gay guy in the show? But what? All right, whatever. And then they're mad that she says cisgendered white male. And I was like, okay, that girl literally does an online blog about murder mysteries. And so she lives in the online sphere. So that's literally relating to her character, because whenever she even delivers that line in the show, they even look at her a little funny, like, what? Because it's kind of a dynamic. It's showing, she lives in, this kind of atmosphere in this sphere.
Right.
And this is a small town where they're not used to that. And I was like, guys, so all the reviews are like, there's this narrative and this and that. I'm like, it's not really a narrative. Like, they're not pushing a narrative. Like, that's just a show that's existing almost like 8 years after they ended the first one.
Yeah.
And
see,
so
I didn't catch that at all. Like, and I'm pretty sensitive to that shit, because the one thing I can't fucking stand is how new shows are coming out, and they tried to purposely woke them. Like, they have to have a rainbow cornucopia of people and characters, and there always has to be a transgender, and there always has to, like, I'm not, I have nothing against them being in stuff like that. I just don't think that there needs to. I think it's almost insulting to purposely put them in. You know what I mean? Like, because you're obviously doing it just for that. And I didn't get that. I don't get that out of Dexter. I just am absolutely loving the show. Like, I mean, loving it, like, completely. I did, for everybody, I did just share where you can grab his go and see him on TikTok. If you haven't watched it, go. Talk about the content, the main content that's got you there, because the main content got you there is like the 811 shit.
Yeah.
Right?
So actually, the way it all started back in May, and what happened was I went with some friends up to a bar, and I realized I hadn't posted a video yet. And so I have one friend that sends me pretty good memes and stuff that he gets online. And I'd seen one that said something about so if you're going to disband the police, doesn't mean we call 811 instead. Kind of like suggesting like we got to call 811 before we bury anything.
Right.
And so I was like, well, that's really close to 911. Why don't we make a joke out of that? So I was already a little bit buzzed. I just ran out to the front of the bar in the patio real quick. And I was like, did the video like, hey, if somebody breaks into your house, do you call 911 right away, or do you wait to see if you need them? And then I was like, nah, man, why would you call 911? You call 811.
Right.
Why do you call 811? Because that's what you call before you dig a hole. And that video overnight just went off. Yeah. And so I came back to it a little while later, to that same idea of like, letting people know, like, if you come to a redneck town, in the Midwest, the last thing that you're going to be worried about is the police showing up.
Okay? Yeah.
They're going to be there to help you, not us. And
now, where do you live, by the way?
Oh, I live in the Oklahoma Panhandle.
Okay. So you live like, it's basically Castle Lot there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's, so some of the ideas I've gotten from my videos are direct quotes from some of my crazy ass friends out here, because literally, like, that's kind of just the mentality. Like, don't mess with us and we won't mess with you. But if you do mess with us, then.
For those of you that don't know what Castle Law is, that's where, if like for ranchers, a lot of times in Texas, Oklahoma, I believe Arizona, even some places, but ranchers for large farms, if they catch trespassers, they can basically just take care of you themselves, and they don't have to report it. They just you just don't come off their land. Like, you're trespassing. It's like it's stand your ground, because Florida's stand your ground. Yeah. But it's stand your ground on steroids, basically. Like,
yeah, I mean, that actually ended up biting one of my buddies in the ass one night. He was out just doing some dumb stuff in one of the pastures. He had a couple of beers and was driving his truck around in the pasture, got it stuck, and just fell asleep until the morning to try and get it out. He got woken up with a 12 gauge in his face.
Yeah.
They're like, "What the hell are you doing on our?" Like he was scared for his life, and then he
He
called me
should have been.
about it, and I was like, "Dude, you're an idiot. Why did you go on their ranch? We all know how they are about that. What kind of idiot thing were you thinking? Like, you're a moron. Like, you're lucky to be here with us right now."
Yeah, no shit. Because that's some scary shit. Like people don't understand. Like that's an actual real thing. Like people can
Yeah.
like and they won't get in trouble. Like that's the thing. Like that's what people don't understand. That's what people don't get. Which is, I personally think, you know, if we went, I'm very old school. Like I've got this thing. Like a huge problem with the world right now is that we don't drink from the skulls of our enemies. You know, if we drank from the bleached skull of our enemy, if we drank beer or wine from the bleached skull of our enemies, less people would fuck with us.
Yeah, what is that Mike Tyson meme I always see? Like, social media's gotten you so comfortable with saying whatever you want without getting punched in the face.
Right. Yeah. It's fun. That's funny shit. It really is. Now, so the TikTok, I'm basically new to the TikTok world, new-ish. I've been on there about a year, but I've had like 6 different accounts. What has been like the weirdest shit that's happening on there?
I had somebody stitch one of my videos, and she did a 3-minute video. You could tell she wasn't all there. I think that there was some other substances that were involved with her, but she was trying to call me out and basically threaten me with machetes and swords, and tried to cover one of the machetes in blood. And she's like, "Oh, I got to get it out of their head real quick. I'm gonna need that back," and pulls it up like she's pulling it out of somebody's head. And then she's like, "I saw your license plate number, by the way, on your truck, and I know where you were enlisted in the military at Fort Bragg or something like that." And I was like, "Okay, first of all, I'm not military.
Yeah.
I have family that's military. I have a lot of friends in the military. I'm not. Second of all, I don't own a truck. I own a hatchback. Third of all, you're obviously out of your fucking mind."
Yeah. It's a weird microcosm. Because I mean, everything's a little weird now that all the crazy is happening. You know what I mean? But like each social media platform has like different weirdness to it. You know what I mean? And it's different battles back and forth. But I gotta say, the TikTok the most, and I call it TikTok. I still think it's a dumbass fucking app. It's horror. Like it is. It's like it. I used to say that Instagram was where fitness went to die, and I was absolutely wrong.
Yeah,
fitness is horrendous. Fitness on TikTok is horrendous,
and
because they got
verified blue check marks too. Is what's sad. Like
they're
oh my god, yeah.
They got some of the fucking people the Adam Wright Fitness is a dude I fucking made a video about like last week. Like this guy's saying just so everybody knows, healthy at every size is misunderstood, because as long as you're healthy, you can be any size. And I'm like, you can change the words around however the fuck you want. If you're morbidly obese, you're not fucking healthy.
Yeah.
And he went fucking nuts, man. Like, he's going hard in the comments, like freaking out. I'm like, just tell me, literally just tell me what I said that's not true. Because I said you can't be morbidly obese and healthy because you're in a chronic inflammatory state. Like your body releases cytokines that cause your body to be inflamed. And right now, especially, it's very, very dangerous, right?
Oh yeah.
So they're losing their shit. And like, the weird thing is I'm very used to like people on YouTube. They'll make a video back at me. I make or whatever. Like they go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Like they normally try to express their point in content. These people don't do that. They just kind of hissy fit.
Yeah, TikTok's bad about how people it's kind of like who can shout over the other one. Nobody actually listens, because we when we first started making that channel and we started making videos that I was talking about back on YouTube, and it's an ironic thing because people still will try to argue with me on TikTok, or they'll argue with me in comments or lives, and I'm like, no, if you're morbidly obese, you're not healthy. And so when we were making videos kind of about body positivity and this and that, we were talking about it, and so I had 3 people that were very outspoken to me about not liking our content, not liking the, body positivity, or us talking about fitness. And that was what I was going to bring up. Those 3 people have since all come down and been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Oh, let's see.
And I told them, I was like, we're trying to help, but you didn't want to listen to the message back then. And now you're understanding there was a reason we were putting that message out there.
That's dangerous too. Like people get fucked up in their head. Like people really, really think that like, it's not a big thing. If type 2 diabetes is so common nowadays that people just think of it as no big deal, right? It's a big fucking thing, people. Yeah. Like, I mean, it really is. When you have to in some way, when your body stops respecting basically one of the hormones it produces, one of the substances, like, because that's what it is, it's insulin resistance. Your body just stops paying respect to it. You know what I mean? Like your body just stops accepting it because you get insulin resistant. That's very bad. Like, I mean, like, it's very, very bad. And people then, it's almost always the quick fix is they try to work out really, really, really hard while they're morbidly obese, and they diet really hard. And that always is like doubly bad, because then they're working out really, really hard. They normally get like foot sores or ankle injuries or shit like that.
Further injure themselves to where they
They
can't.
further injure themselves. They're on a very serious crash diet, so their body's not getting enough protein to actually help them recover. And then they get shit fucking cut off them. Then they got to fucking start losing toes and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think you were the one that I actually saw do the video about it. It was about The Biggest Loser, that coach that was like completely just running them ragged and doing it the wrong way.
Yeah,
like possibly
this Steve Cook. They were having these fucking morbidly obese people box jump.
Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
like,
and I was like, that is the most irresponsible shit you could do.
As a person that's kind of an expert on jumping like that, like, I never have any clients ever do shit like that. I personally don't think that's an athletic thing. Like it is totally for athleticism. Like it has nothing to do with actual generalized health. At no point in time is jumping on a box going to help you in any way, risk reward besides jumping on the fucking box.
Exactly. I've never even done jump boxes in any of my fitness. Like I did it like once or twice to kind of experiment with it. But in the last like 9 years of working out and building my body to where it's at, I never once incorporated jumping on a box, because like you said, that's an athletic thing. That's for explosiveness, for training. Mm-hmm. So you got people don't realize when it comes to fitness, you got to train for what you're wanting out of your fitness. Like if you want to be an athlete, then there's a way to train that way. If you want to look a certain way, there's a way to train that way. If you want to be strong, then you'll train that way. So for me, I've always been about, kind of the aesthetics. But my buddy I finally got him into the gym, and he was the one that was in those videos with me. He lost a ton of weight, and instead of going towards aesthetics, he decided that his passion was powerlifting. Mm-hmm. So he's a huge Shaw strength. He follows Shaw, follows Halfdoor, Eddie Hall. That's his passion, and that's what he lives for. And I'm like, awesome. That's awesome. Like, you still are maintaining a good weight. You're doing what you enjoy, and you're staying healthy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. People need to find. They definitely should find this shit that they like to do. Like I'm a big believer in that, because the only thing that with powerlifting that can sometimes get in the way is that powerlifting, oftentimes the person that, like, they do what I did, and they try to chase the strength with just eating.
Yeah.
and that's not the healthiest thing to do. I'll say that. But if you're training to be stronger, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, I find it that, like, we live in such a society right now that's so devoid of, like, it's so the refusal to accept reality about some of these things is kind of tragic. It is really bad, like really, really bad on the talk. I mean, like TikTok is very, very, very bad for it. Like when you look up, if you really want to go like the 7th place of hell, like look up fat liberation on TikTok in the search bar.
Don't do that to me. What are you trying to do? Don't do that to me. You're gonna give me an aneurysm by the end of the night.
It is fucking crazy, man. Like it's a bunch of blue-haired, yellow-haired people, saying how, fat bodies are beautiful, and I'm not saying they're not. Like that's on you.
And that's what people don't understand when we're bringing it up. We're not saying that you're ugly or that it's not beautiful. We're saying that you need to be worried about your own life. Like, we're worried about how long you're going to be on this planet with us. We're not telling you, oh, you're ugly, you need to work out. No, anybody that ever says that is just a piece of shit. We're saying, it's just not healthy to be at that size or in that state.
It's very weird, though, how people automatically jump towards that, too. Excuse me. I'm fine, everybody. It's not the vid. Even if it was, I'd be fine. But the thing is, like, to automatically assume that everybody should find you attractive is one of the more arrogant fucking things. It's like totally delusional, And again, it's a little bit like sexual predatory. Like, I mean, there's people on that app that are like, if you don't find fat people attractive, you're fat phobic. Like, you're basically trying to say there's literally something wrong with me because I don't find an obese, like, and this is going to be hard for people to take. I don't find people, it's not attractive to me when people don't take care of their body, especially when they literally don't take care of their body and flaunt it. Like when they're just like open about it, like, fuck you, I'm going to eat what I want. Like that's scary to me.
I don't think that's and see, like on TikTok, we call it hot takes whenever you think people are going to disagree. I don't even think that's really a hot take, because if you think about it, if somebody literally doesn't take care of the most important thing in their life, which is their body and their mortality, then you start thinking about other things, like especially when it comes to dating or talking, like you're probably not going to take care of your hygiene, your house, your jobs, your bills, your stuff that matters. What about this relationship? Are you going to try to take care of that? Like, you can't even take care of yourself. You don't want to take care of yourself, and you want to make excuses. So it's kind of like showing a bit of their personality through like working out. I think I saw a meme a while back. It was a long time ago. And it said that the biggest thing about fitness is it's a status symbol about you and how you're like, you work hard for something. So right. You're going to, focus on it, and you're not going to give up on it. And even whenever it's hard, whenever, you don't want to do it, you still do it. It's not, you can't attain it through cheating. Like, you have to just do it. Yeah. And so I think that's, honestly, like that's a reason why you find people like that are in fitness that kind of congregate with other people that are in fitness or worried about their health, is because it kind of shows like they're able to realize we're both going to work towards something. We're both going to do the things that we don't want to do, but we need to do. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is, oh God, I'm just blocking trolls.
Oh, you're good.
So the reality of it is, though, like very realistically, there's not that many fit people in the world right now. Like, I mean, we are a very seriously minority. Like, people that actually take care of themselves, a very serious minority. And I find it kind of egregious when people just go to look past that stuff. Like, I find like the unhealthy motive of the social media outlets. Like, you were talking about how like, and like, if you can bring up one word on your platform that you talk about fairly often, because you talk about like, what the pedo thing, yeah. Which is probably gonna get this flagged here, but you talk about that, but you have to work around it because the algorithm will pick it up and it's fine. But yeah, they can also show pictures of people just engorging themselves with food videos, like constantly on that app, constantly.
What is it? Like mukbang? It's like even how what's his name here on YouTube? Nick Ocado, like he has this massive account and this massive platform of him gorging himself to death, and he's doing it just for views. And you're slowly watching this guy literally kill himself.
Yeah, he's eating himself to death. He has a pretty big following on the talk too. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
I mean, but they're like propagate it. They give these guys money to hurt themselves. It's fucking crazy. So I go to your content. I'm going to look at your content here real quick. And it always, like, how many beers do you honestly drink in a day?
That's definitely my weak spot. Sometimes I'll go, I won't drink at all in 1 or 2 or 3 days. Sometimes I'll drink 18 beers in a day. It kind of just depends on the reasoning, like, like if I'm hanging out with somebody. But the biggest thing is like, because people brought it up when I first started on TikTok and they saw my physique. They're like, people that drink beer don't look like that. I'm like, no, we make compromises. So for example, in my fridge, there's no sugar. There's nothing unnatural. Like, I mean, like maybe like fruit here and there, but like there's no processed food. Like I don't eat like crap. And that's how I'm able to do that. Like, I don't even have cheat meals, because for me, beer is my cheat meal. Right. So I work that in that way. And so I always tell people, like, if you have something that you enjoy and it has to deal with fitness, then you're going to have to find ways to work around that, but still keep it in there. And I'm like, that's how I'm able to do that. But, yeah, with beer, I probably maybe 6 to 12 a day average.
How old are you?
34.
Yeah, that's honestly before I met my wife, that was me too. Like before, but yeah, and then I became a dad when I met my wife too. So that changed stuff like that. And I up until recently, I still had like a few a day every day, up until like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and then I was like, I still needed to downsize at least like 40 pounds, because I was like 220 at the beginning of the pandemic. So I downsized about 40 pounds since then. And that's one of the ways I did it. I kind of just like got it to the point where like that, and I'm 50. Like, so my body doesn't feel as well when you drink beer every day when you're 50.
I still feel it at 34 compared to whenever I was 24.
Yeah. I mean, so an occasional glass of wine and stuff like that is great, but like I can't do it. But it's something for your content. Like, have you ever made a video after a few too many and then been like, man, I wish I could pull that one back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So before I started really getting big through that platform, I would come home at night and post, like, sometimes you'll just have a bad night. You get in your feels because you were drinking, and then I'll post a video, and then I'll wake up in the morning like, oh shit. I'll go pull it back down. I'm like, no.
No.
The last thing I ever want to do is, like, and I hate how people do it. They'll post videos on TikTok to get people to follow them and gain clout off of sympathy. And I don't like sympathy.
Yeah, they do that a lot. I've noticed that too. I used to do podcasts with beer or whiskey. And then I've since, like, now me and Mark do the Gaines cast. Because I don't drink anymore, barely at all. But I used to do them almost exclusively. Like, I'd have a few whiskeys with, while I was doing it. And it ended up, like, after a while, I'm like, you know what? I am going to say something that is going to get me in serious fucking trouble. Like, because, like, I don't filter myself, and, like, the shit that goes across my, like, I guess like I could say there's a difference between, like, the filter that I have when I'm just me, where I really don't filter myself, or the crazy fucking shit I'll say after I've had like a few whiskeys. So yeah. I decided that was not a good combination to fucking do podcasts, especially because, like, it's an hour, like it's an hour and a half, or just like I'm letting myself say whatever fuck I want normally. And again, the social media platforms are already not too huge on me. Like, you and I were talking about that also at the very beginning. I've had a bunch of different accounts on there. The first one was the MFing COO, and that's my name a lot of places. And that's, honestly, people ask why I picked that name, is because I'm the motherfucking COO. My wife is the CEO of all of our companies. I'm the COO. Like, she actually, she's actually the boss, and I'm the motherfucking COO. So that's where the name came from. But that one, I was the one where the Lizzo people were really pissed at me, and then
I saw that video.
Yeah, they were really, really, really mad at me. And then I'm like, what? Well, she's fat, and she eats on camera as if she's not. Like, she engorges herself. Like, she's a horrible role model. But and then that was also the one where, like, people are like, do you like white people or black people? And I was like, I don't judge people on whether I like them, whether by they're white or black. I actually get to know the person. Like, I've met fucking assholes of every color, and I've met nice people of every color. That's rather irrelevant. I grew up at a time. The fucked up thing is, I find it to be so weird because everybody's so focused on race right now, when I'm old enough to remember when it is way better. It's been way better in the last decade than what it ever really fucking was. But they went nuts about that one, and I forget which video caused it, but, like, in one day, and they had taken the video, they had taken that channel like 3 or 4 times, and I had appealed it and gotten it back. But all of a sudden, like, I woke up the one morning and I was like, wow, I got like 3,000 new followers on this fucking account. What the fuck's going on? And then I checked it like 20 minutes later, and I had another 3,000 new followers. And I was like, oh fuck. And it like I wanted to get excited, but I knew it was about to happen.
You knew what was getting
So the very second it hit like 98,000, they, like, literally just fucking, your account is permanently banned, because they just started mass reporting every video.
Yeah, and mass reporting is actually a big deal. A lot of people don't realize it. They're finally fixing that algorithm over there on TikTok, though, because of Modern Warrior and Aunt Karen doing that all the time, having people mass report and then just getting entire accounts yanked. So they're finally having to go in and redo the entire algorithm, because what it is it's also bogging them down on their end.
Yeah,
so they don't have enough time to go through and look at all these different reports, because they have to go in and actually verify them. And now they're like, they were getting pushed back. They're like, well, we can't look at all of them now. So it was causing major issues over there when it comes to mass reporting. But yeah, like, that's one of the things. Whenever I first got, the first time I had a video blow up, it was kind of the same thing. I was just like, oh shit, I'm also going to attract the attention I don't want to attract.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but I knew it was going to happen, and that's what happened. So I started another one, and that one was the Angry Bald Man. And that one, like, in like 2 weeks, got to the point where it was like 40,000. And then, like, again, like, this one's growing a little slower. This one is the Alan Roberts, I think. But this one's the Alan Roberts. This is like the 4th iteration or 5th iteration. And this one's growing a little slower, and I'm happy about that. But I'm also kind of like, I point out to this, like, people, me and you were talking earlier. People try to get famous on social media. Like, and I think that's part of the reason why they fuck up. Like, I get people like reach out to me all the time, like, even being massively, and I mean massively shadow banned for, my stances on, current events and stuff like that, especially on YouTube and stuff like that. And YouTube still, every time YouTube's funny because all my videos have like a 97 and up percentile approval rating, but they don't put out notifications to anybody. And every time I post, I lose a couple hundred subscribers. You know,
Actually, yeah, this was the first what is the word? Notification I've gotten from your channel, even though I've had notifications on, was ironically for this.
Yeah.
It was the first time I got a notification. I'm like, okay, so where's my notifications for these channels that I signed up for so I can go watch these videos?
But I do point out to everybody, like, just if you can just manage to, like, it's a lot less about like the platform and a lot more about the message, because I really just kind of fucking say what I'm going to fucking say. I think on Twitter, Twitter's doing well. I just kind of like, Twitter's like literally my random thoughts for the fucking day. Like, I mean, like in my interactions between them. And the same thing kind of is on TikTok too. Like, I mean, I kind of like fucking just, you know, are you people this fucking stupid? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, like,
yeah,
about current events. So, I mean, I keep that off of this platform, obviously, because this platform will definitely fucking delete it quickly. I got a tip. People always call me bitch because I don't drink. I always made me feel like shit. So that's fucked up too. Yeah. I mean, I find that fucked up too. But I will say this, like, you shouldn't hang around those people though.
No.
I mean, like that's not, if they're gonna make you feel bad for it, fuck them.
Yeah,
you know,
we
like
they go with us to the bar all the time. That we don't try to like hate on them or anything like that. If they don't,
designated drivers, why the fuck would you hate on them? Like,
yeah, and we even have like one of the big, because I do the social media for the bar I always go to, and one of the best posts we ever had was us telling everybody we had non-alcoholic beer, like so that way you can drink a beer and not get drunk. And I'm kind of embarrassed with myself. I just now realized I didn't have the comments pulled up on my end. I just now pulled them up right before you said that. So I'm glad I finally pulled them up. Sorry about that, guys.
So the ceiling above you, is that like clouds?
Yeah. So what I did was I saw it on TikTok, and it was like a little trend where they did like a 5x5 area, and I wanted to try it out, but kind of just a heads up for people. Definitely try it out on a smaller spot, because I was like, I'm gonna do the whole damn ceiling, and I started in the corner, and I realized after 3 hours I'd fucked up. So what I did was I took poster board, because I do rent, and I stapled the poster board to the ceiling, and then I took those LED light strips, put them over the poster board, and then I took polyfill and spray adhesive, and then just put it up over that. It took almost 3.5 days.
Yeah, it looks fucking cool, but I was like, it's like God's reaching down to you or something like that. It's fucking fun. Like, yeah,
I love it. And it even, ironically, it even helps with engagement on TikTok, because you'll have random people, when they see the video, they'll be like, all right, but we need to talk about the ceiling. Even though you've talked about it 20 million times, it's still, you know, it's still engagement. People are curious about the ceiling, so they'll start commenting and asking questions about it.
You know, that's another weird thing too, though, is like actual engagement, because you see a lot of these channels that have a large following, even on the talk. They have a large following, but they truly fucking don't get that much traction. Like, is there the thing over there too, where people buy followers over there, or?
Yeah. So the one thing I've noticed is you'll go through lulls, and it's really hard to maintain just a great, you know, growth rate. And then not only that, if it does grow at that rate, then it could really quickly just completely collapse on you. And so for mine, it took almost a year, like for about a year and a half. No, it was about a year. I was around 30K is where we were just kind of capped at. And then like everything went from 200K to where we're at now, almost 700K within the last 2.5 months.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think honestly, it's just one of those things. Like I don't worry too much about views anymore, because I know the way I look at it is you'll have videos that'll go viral. But then those videos that aren't blowing up, those are there for your community, the people that always interact with your videos, and it's a good place for me to actually interact with my supporters on a one-on-one basis, more or less, because I can actually reply to comments then, and I can let them know, like, I see you, I appreciate you commenting, let me, you know, talk to you personally, let me, you know, answer a couple of questions, because whenever a video goes viral, it's almost impossible to keep up with comments.
Yeah, that's another thing I noticed too, and you never know which one's going to go viral. A lot of time, like that's actually one of the things I love about that app, though, is that like you can do a video message to a comment, and it shows the person's comment and stuff like that. So especially for fitness, the real cool thing is that you're able to give advice directly to the person based off of that. I really do like that. We do have somebody here. Let me see if I can show it. Alan, I weigh 300 pounds. Is there any level of exercise that is safe for me to do? I mean, I would talk to your doctor first, always. always and always and always. And because I don't personally know you, I would say that 300 pounds, you are morbidly obese. I don't, unless you're extremely tall, you're morbidly obese. But I also would suggest maybe swimming and walking if your walking is good for you. If if your doctor has told you can ambulate. I know that sometimes people get kind of fucked up about that, like where they're like, "Oh, you're telling them not to work out." No, I'm telling you not to get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm telling you not to get hurt. A 300-pound person doing very serious physical activity is not good for multiple reasons. You know what I mean? Like, one, it is unsustainable. Two, I have yet, and I mean seriously yet, to see a very large person go from very unhealthy habits that puts them at 300 pounds to all of a sudden working out really, really, really hard without them getting an injury that all of a sudden stops them from doing anything and causes more depression, which normally causes more eating and everything like that. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, just because the physics of it works, where you burn more calories and you eat less, you're going to lose weight quicker. Just because the physics of it work, you still need to look at the individual and the safety, the longevity. Like a 300-pound person, this is not something you're going to cure. You didn't get 300 pounds in a couple months. You got some time. Like David, like not everybody is David Goggins. You're not going to lose 100 pounds in 6 months.
Well, then not only that, nobody's going to be able to handle it like David Goggins did.
Yeah.
Like David Goggins does videos of talking about, breaking, shattering his knees, shattering his feet.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, if I shattered my feet, I would not be able to go to the gym for months. Like,
yeah.
So we're not David Goggins. David Goggins is a different creature, different animal. He's on a different level.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like people, it's the same thing. Like people are like try to train like the Rock and eat like the Rock. You're not the fucking Rock.
No, yeah.
I mean, like just you're not going to eat 10,000 calories in a day and not get fat.
Yeah, and then a lot of people forget also The Rock has a lot of other stuff in the background that helps him afford to be able
other
to
stuff in the background. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Well, even whenever it comes to the stuff that I don't want to say anything because I don't want anybody to think that I'm insinuating. But also, he's got a lot of people and a lot of money behind him.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, he takes a gym everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
his own personal gym, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I have nothing against him besides he's a sellout, but.
I stopped following him because of some of that stuff too. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah,
I think I did a video, and that was the one that got the most backlash from my own supporters. Was me talking about like, hey guys, just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean they're infallible. Just because I hold the same mentality with my platform. I'm like, yeah, I might say something that's wrong. Feel free to correct me, but you guys need to stop thinking that just because we have a lot of people that believe what we're saying, it's 110% right. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to question us in a respectful way and question these people that have verified check marks by their Twitter and their Instagram and everything like that, and hold them accountable too, because they get away with a lot of stuff. That's
the thing too. Like, how often do you hear like, "Well, I used to like you, but you said this,"
Oh yeah.
That's one thing. Like, and I always love that. I get that a lot lately. Like, I got that a lot in 2020 because like in 2020, because my message about all the craziness is still 100% right. And not only 100% right because it's shown to be, but I stand by everything I've said. I haven't changed my thought process on how we should have handled anything or anything like that at all this entire time, because I'm not stupid and I looked at the data. But I had tons of people like, I used to love you. I used to love these videos, but you said this, blah, blah, blah. That. You didn't actually love me. Okay, you loved my delivery of the information that you already believed. That's the thing. Like, rarely does somebody like. You need to be able to like and dislike something that comes out of somebody's mouth in order to actually like them. And I think that that's where people get fucked up on social media, is that they spend way too much time to. You spend way too much time trying to make sure the audience likes them, and they say shit that their audience is only going to like. That's how people fall in the trap of, hey guys, tell me what video you want me to make. Like, at that point in time, you're not really an influencer, you're an entertainer. You're just making the fucking stuff that they want to fucking hear, I do have, somebody just did ask you a question. Give me a second here. Where was the fuck did it go? Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, I don't have that yet. The merch I do have, I haven't gotten it in my hands yet. We have the fuck around to find out merch that I finally started pushing. And so, well, the reason I did that was like hashtags are a huge very useful on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, like if you use a certain hashtag, it'll go to a certain amount of people that always interact with that. So whenever it came to me using the hashtag Rip Redneck, I looked and there was only 30 views on that hashtag, and it was a guy's video trying to talk shit to me that he didn't know how to use TikTok. So I didn't even bother really examining that. And so we've gotten that hashtag up to about 100 million views. We're coming up on that.
That's fucking amazing.
And yeah, like it's still mind blowing to this day. Like I still look back and I always try to stay humble and just go, I have no idea how we were able to do that. Like it's still crazy. And the reason I did that fuck around to find out one was because I looked in all the hashtags. There was fuck around and find out, or fuck around, find out. And I was like, well, what about 2? And there was nothing. And so I was like, oh, well, then that's what I'm going to push, because one big thing I do is my logo, the stuff like that. I make sure to own the trademark for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like that was the biggest thing. And like, even when it came to the Seriously shirts, they originally started from Walmart, but Walmart never owned the trademark. So I looked it up and I was like, well, I guess I own it now.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. I will be getting a fuck around and find out shirt. So because that's one of my, I said that from the very beginning. Like, either that or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I've been saying that from the very fucking beginning. Like when people were fucking freaking out, like somebody jumps in front of somebody's car and slams on it to protest and all like that, and then they get fucking run over. Like,
yeah, I was
play
like,
a stupid game, you win a fucking stupid prize. Like
last time I checked, you're not going to be able to stop a Honda, so I would probably get out of the damn street.
Fucking stupid shit. So who all did you or still do you watch on YouTube?
I still watch yours. Swole Normus. What is this? Swole. Is it Swole? No, it's
Swole Fesser.
No, the sports science, shredded sports science.
James, yeah.
I love his stuff. I haven't really. I think most of the people I follow on like YouTube and watch they're not as much like you guys are the only ones when it comes to fitness that I really watch still.
Cool.
Now I usually kind of like I watch and I hate it because it dumbed me down really bad. I had to take a break from it, but I do watch a lot of channels that talk about what's going on TikTok or what's going on between creators, so I can stay versed on a situation, so I don't open my mouth and say the wrong thing about a situation in a live or something like that and not have all the information before.
There's channels like that on YouTube. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, one of them is actually I watch him quite a bit. He's called Papa Gut, and he's actually really good at staying in the middle before he broaches a conversation. And so that's where I kind of was able to like start, let my opinions out, but at the same time making sure like let's look at it from all sides, not just one side. And he does a really good job in covering a lot of this stuff. Like he's already done multiple videos over the Modern Warrior Aunt Karen situation. He actually got called out by Modern Warrior because Modern Warrior took a clip of his and it was a bad joke. Even he admitted it was a bad joke, but he trimmed it to say what he wanted to try to make the guy look bad.
Oh, that dude's a joke, dude. Yeah, like, I mean, like, because the thing is, they obviously pushed him on TikTok. I mean, like, they obviously did. I mean, I've never seen anybody literally make a platform off being a racist before.
And not only that, like, so I was talking to somebody one night and I was like, if you guys want to keep debating the definition of racist, because people keep on TikTok keep saying you can't be racist to white people. I'm like, that's prejudice. I'm like, okay, well, prejudice is still not a positive thing to push. I was like, so I'll give you that part of the argument, but I'm still going to tell you right now, I wouldn't. You're still propagating hate.
Yeah.
So
hate is hate, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
you can wrap it in whatever Christmas wrapping you want to, but if I unwrap a box of shit, it's still a box of shit.
His channel because I did make a few videos on him on the first channel, and that's like the teeny boppers just flew over, and I was just like, why should I care what this person says? Like he did one recently, like I don't move for white people on the sidewalk. Like I guarantee you would. Like, I don't know who you're talking about, but I wouldn't say I'd jump in your way. But if all of a sudden I'm walking and you like, if I'm on my side and you come on my side, I can guarantee you're gonna move, buddy.
I think the biggest video I have a problem with that he's uploaded, which he's finally getting backlash for, because I've noticed, because I keep track of him, I follow him so I can keep track of what he's gonna say and figure out what narrative he's gonna push now. And the biggest one and it was blatant racism, was telling white people to stop having babies, literally promoting eugenics and getting away with it. Like that video was posted in September. It's still up. And I'm like, dude,
Wow.
that's blatant racism. Blatant.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you guys aren't holding him accountable for what he just posted. Like,
That's
that's not
messed
fair.
up.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, like, I follow him to keep track to, like, with whenever he's basically gonna, like, finally start bringing it back in. But also, like, I like to, the reason I follow people that I don't agree with is to see other sides and other angles and what they're gonna argue.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I ever get, like, and because somebody brought up to me the other day, they're like, has he made a video, or has Aunt Karen or any of these people? I was like, no, but it'll happen eventually. And
Yeah.
I just want them to know, like, I've saved your videos that you since deleted. I've screenshotted your horrible comments that you've since deleted. So I have folders ready for whenever that eventual notification comes through.
Yeah. Him and that Aunt Karen lady, they were recently taking L's from like a 17-year-old, weren't they?
Yeah, it's like, and that was okay. So I was actually talking with somebody earlier, and that was my biggest problem with the situation. Aunt Karen did a live with a 16-year-old boy arguing with him, saying she had proof that he called her the N-word. And then when he asked her for it, he's like, give me the proof because I didn't do it. Show the proof. She's like, well, I don't have it anymore. I'm like, oh, that's convenient. So what happened is all of her followers made this narrative where you have to prove that you didn't say it. No. What usually happens is when somebody accuses you of something, they have to prove it, not the other way around. Otherwise, I can run around and just accuse everybody of any outlandish shit. Because the same thing happened with Modern Warrior. People started accusing him of being, a pedo. And I was like, well, then proof. And I had a bunch of people that DM'd me some videos that I'm still going through to look into it. But I was like, you need to have proof before you make a claim. And then you have to back up your claim. I was like, she's not backing up her claim at all. And then this 16-year-old kid is literally owning both of you by just being the most adult person out of the whole situation.
It's crazy.
Like, this kid's going to be able to recover. He's 16. He can recover if he looks cringe, if he looks dumb on TikTok. You're a grown-ass adult. Why are you arguing with a 16? You're not going to recover from this. You should already know.
And that's another thing too. You brought up the whole map thing. That's big over there.
Yeah, minor attracted persons. I cannot believe that's turned into that. It started as a joke on 4chan back in the day, just to rile people up, until predators grabbed it and ran with it and turned it into their own thing. Now
it's insane. Like, the world's gone totally crazy, like completely fucking crazy. Like one thing I can say too. That I find kind of interesting is, no matter how hard that these social media platforms try to make it seem like that's the norm, or that, like, everything like that, the voice is, like, imagine how loud the voice of reason basically would be if it wasn't for the suppression, because you see, like, I do it over there. I dance around words because there's no sense in saying anything about about the therapy. Like, you have to do it over here too. Like, you have to call it certain things because they will just take the video. So you dance around words. Imagine, and it's still radically, like, again, like I released a video today that has got like 50,000 views on it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, on a smaller, it's still a small account. Like, it happens. Like, they can't even seem to stop it. Imagine if they weren't suppressing it. Because it's almost like they're trying to push this narrative. I mean, they're trying to push this crazy ass narrative, and then the voice is just too loud behind it. There's a video that's gone viral on there that recently, like, one guy's like, the most popular songs in America are "Fuck Joe Biden," and where there's this.
Anybody says that song bumps. Like, for me, I'm not even all conservative or all left, but like, that song bumps. That's a good song.
Yeah, all of them do.
I'm out to that thing.
The latest one by that kid Burden is excellent, where he just lists off everybody. What music do you listen to?
Mostly country, but I love a lot of I kind of listen more to Texas country. Let's see, for example, it'd be like Stoney LaRue. I was dabbling in Sam Riggs for a while. I just showed a friend some of Sam Riggs stuff. But I do like to listen to just about everything whenever it comes to country music. And then sometimes rock whenever I'm working out. And then I love R&B and rap. That's
I'm an old school R&B rap guy, but I love country rap. Like Upchurch's Adam Calhoun, of course. Like, I'm good friends with Jeff McCool from Moccasin Creek. Which, by the way, Jeff McCool from Moccasin Creek, for all of you that know, he's the guy that's in the intro music to my older videos. He's lost like 120 some pounds already. We're going to take like another 50 pounds off of him, but he's doing his last ride. He's going to go on one more tour starting in February, and there's a good chance, especially for the Florida shows, that not only will I be there, but I'm going to be the hype guy for him, on stage. So
hell yeah,
that would be awesome. I don't know if I'm sure he's going to come to Texas. I mean, in Oklahoma and stuff like that. He does. I'm not going that far.
can't blame me.
I have no drive to go that far. And everybody listens to Hank. Of course, you listen to fucking Hank. And Hank the Third is Hank. I like Hank the Third too.
Yeah.
I really do. So.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, don't ask the obvious ones. Of course, if it says Redneck in my handle, if you're gonna like say like Johnny Cash or Hank or anything like that, of course I listen to him.
What now? So you like more outlaw country though? Because I can't do, like, I have a hard time doing like pop country.
Yeah, and see, like, I feel like it all has like its own spot. Like, I'm not huge on it. I'll listen to it just because I have two of my really good friends that I hang out with are both girls that absolutely love like Florida Georgia Line and Kane Brown and stuff like that. So, like, I've listened to it. The one thing I will say in Florida Georgia Line's defense, though, is that is the most amazing country show I've ever been to in my life. Because we did go to one, and holy shit, they put on a show. They really do.
Kenny Chesney was an amazing country show. We went years ago.
Still want to see Kenny.
He was amazing live. He was. I mean, if I ever get a chance to see him again, I will. I guarantee it. It was amazing live. Like I wasn't even that big of a fan when I went to the show, and by the time I left, I was a huge fan. He played. It was amazing. Truly amazing.
And that was actually that was kind of how it was whenever I saw Florida Georgia Line. I didn't leave Florida Georgia Line a huge fan of them, but I became a huge fan of Morgan Wallen. Because Morgan Wallen came out in the middle of their show to sing Up Down, and I was losing it because I'd been listening to Morgan Wallen a little bit here and there, and this is before he blew up, and I was like, holy shit. I turned to my friends, I was like, that's Morgan Wallen. They're like, who? And I'm like, Morgan Wallen, this is his song. They're like, I don't know who that is. And then like 6 months later, they're jamming out to Morgan Wallen. Like, I can't believe we found this. I was like, I'll crash his car right now.
and then they tried to cancel him.
Yeah. That one was ridiculous, but I mean, everybody's got a phone these days. Like I tell people, because somebody asked last night about me having you on my TikTok for live, and I was like, because we'll get pulled off within 5 seconds. And not only that, I tell a lot of people the reason I TikTok live, I always tell people watch your P's and Q's because somebody's screen recording this right now. I guarantee it, and they're looking for anything they can to stretch it out of context to use it to cancel you.
Yeah, I try, like, when I do TikTok lives, it's only like advice based. Like, okay, I'll do a fitness advice one. I'm not going to talk about any of the fucking crazy shit in my video. Like, I really want to make sure, like, I want to keep the containment of that shit. But if you fucking just like let yourself, I'm the type of person. Anybody that wants to see me just talk, they can check into the Gaines Cast when Mark and I talk, just because we're not as held, because we have a platform on Spotify too that we can show our videos on Spotify also. You know what I mean? Like, we just put our recording on there, so we have if they would delete the YouTube channel, we're good, because it's all on Spotify. And I'm pretty loose and wild on YouTube, on regular YouTube lives, but I don't talk about, like, on this channel, I don't talk about like any political stuff, or I try to stay as far away from the political stuff as I can, because they'll just keep punishing this channel, even though eventually I don't care. Now, are you going to go on Trump's social?
I don't know yet. I haven't seen, I've seen that he's pushing it. I haven't had a check, because my biggest thing is how it interacts. Like, because it's going to be one of those things. I really don't care who runs the social media platform. I'm built off of how well does it run as a platform. Mm-hmm. So, for example, a lot of people were telling me whenever I was having issues with TikTok to go to Clapper, and I was like, no, Clapper's a trash app. Like, it's awful. It's fake engagement, fake profiles. The app crashes 24/7. I was like, my problem with Clapper is it's trash. Like, and they treat the creators like trash, even worse than TikTok does. Yeah. And then, so my biggest thing is, as long as it's a good, like, working platform, I have no reason to not be on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try it, obviously. I'm looking. My biggest worry is that we're doing this. Like, I really believe that we need one that's going to not suppress voices, like certain voices, but we can't have it go the other way.
Exactly.
Like, we can't have it go where like, it can't be based versus woke, and like, it can't be that way. You know, like we need some, if for us to survive as people, we need to start having like conversation. We need to be able to converse, because as it is right now, like it's where it's like on TikTok, the very woke can just mass report your channel. They silence you. You create a new one. It grows. Like that's how that works. That's not having conversation. If it works the exact opposite way, we're still not having conversation. And I personally think I want to have conversation. Like I'm a big thing. If you want to debate me on the merits of my thoughts, I gladly will. Like that was my thing with the Adam Wright fitness guy. Like, tell me what I said was false. Show me the data that says I was false. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just like, well, you're a mushroom. You're a rancid mushroom. I mean, I swear he called me a rancid mushroom.
That's a weird insult. But
yeah, I was wondering where he got like my ADHD grabbed it, and I was like, what's happening at that point in time where he actually pulled that insult, like rancid mushroom?
Yeah, like he's literally sitting there like, you know what's going to really get this guy?
Yeah, like
what about calling him a mushroom? No, fuck that, bro.
Rancid. It's got to be a rancid mushroom.
Like that one. Yeah.
That'll get him, you know. And then one thing was somebody was like, you know, you should be able to respond to your peers when they question you. And he was like, we're not peers. He's just trying to get engagement. I'm like, you're right, we're not peers. Like, I am a health and fitness professional. You are LARPing as one. You are literally pretending to be one. Exactly. You know, like nobody knows you besides this app. Like, I mean, like this app made you famous because it pushed you. Nobody knows your name besides this.
Yeah.
You know, like
I tell people all the time, like TikTok stardom is not the same as being known all across all platforms. Because, for example, whenever I was telling people that I was stoked that you had reached out and you wanted me to be on your live, and people were like, well, who's that? And I was like, this guy's literally existed across all of our social media platforms. I was like, this guy, I guarantee you guys, has been seen 10 times more than me. I was like, this guy, like he's got a massive following. He knows his shit. I grew up watching, like in the last 10 years, I grew up social media wise, watching his content, taking it in, loving it. I was like, guys, you have no idea. Like I'm still going to say this one, because it was one of those things, like when I told my buddy freaked out. I had to screenshot the conversation and send it to him because he didn't believe it. Yeah. And I was like, guys, you got to understand, whenever the people that you looked up to become your peers is one of the coolest feelings in the world.
You got to be careful though, man. Like one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of times they fucking let you down. Like a lot of times, you know, like, and that's the weird thing for me. Like, I am personally like, I like realism and I like comedy and I like, you know, I obviously like knowledge and shit like that. And the fucked up thing is, and this is no shit, dude, I did not remember that was your video. Like, I did not remember you from that video, right?
It was like 3-4 years ago. So
yeah. But I've like, you're one of the first accounts. Every time I get deleted, you're one of the first accounts I go back and follow. Like, because like I find your fucking shit very humorous. Like, you have the shovel sitting there and you're like, wink at your, like, in case you guys haven't watched, you've got to go see his channel, because it is the type of comedy I seriously love, because it's like smart ass comedy, but also delivers a very serious message. I fucking love it. But he'll like, and you'll have like, he films himself in a red shirt and then he films himself in a blue shirt. So he basically has a conversation back and forth with each other. And it's like the facial expressions and everything, dude, I find it so fucking hilarious. I really do. I find it hilarious. So that's what I find is pretty fucking neat. Like, I don't consider it's odd because I entered all this shit when I was like 45. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I had been a corporate executive before. Like, I mean, this came after all that shit for me. Whereas a lot of these people grew up in it, like from their younger age, grew up in it, right? So I'm not the type, like, I don't wear team jerseys and I don't get fucking, although I'm wearing a gym fucking sweatshirt right now, but I don't wear somebody else's name on my back. You're like, you know, I don't wear an individual's name on my back. I don't even watch sports. I really don't, you know? So I don't get enamored by people. Like, shit, the one of my very best friends is the lead singer of my favorite band. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just a good friend of mine, you know? And I call him a fuckhead all the time when he fucks up. But he's still in my favorite band. I think his music is amazing. I just don't get enamored like that too much. You know what I mean? So that's why when I think, you know, I meet certain people, they weren't able to let me down as much. I will say this though, a lot of the fitness people in the course of the last 2 years really let me down because they still pulled their line without actually like they just kept making the same content without having it adjust. Like they're still talking about bicep curls. You know,
You want to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
yeah. You were one of the only ones that did talk about it, and that's why I started watching your live, started like tuning in, and I was just like, why is like you guys are acting like this doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Like you need to broach it. I think the closest I saw was whenever Jeff made videos about using, resistance bands from home and how you can get an entire workout. I was like, well, at least he's broaching it. I was like, but nobody else is even talking about it.
I mean, a few of them have on there, like, have come around on the, and I'm not even, I fucking can't stand Greg Doucette. I think he's a fake ass character. But I will say this, and this is no shit. I will say that at least he's fucking spoken about it on his Instagram, and a lot of people still haven't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, and again, I'm not a fan of his. I really don't like the fake character. I can't get into it. And I think he's a fucking lying fucking cheater. But
he got rolled on TikTok recently too by the guy we were talking about. Like that video was bad. Like
I can't believe he fucking like to put that out there. Like I had a bunch of people because Modern Warrior made a video on him. And people were reaching out to me like, you're on here. You should fucking like, you could step in and help Greg. I'm like, A, I think he's a fucking clown.
Yeah.
But B, I think the other guy's a clown. He just happens to be right in this situation. Like to just kind of say that women owe you like their attention.
Yeah.
Like and not only that, as a newsflash for him, if he's watching or anybody else, if you are in Florida and you approach my wife like that, there's a chance you're going to get two in you. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like, I mean, like that.
And he was putting stuff into her video that she never said. He's like, and you wonder why you're single. I was like, she never said that in her video, bro. She never asked why she was single. She wasn't bringing up that she hates being single. Like, she was literally saying, like, I'm trying to pump gas. Like, don't come at me like that. And I was like, that is a weird time to go talk to somebody anyway, Greg. Like, why?
Yeah, like, and again, like, I mean, somebody did, like, think of Michelle McDaniel pointed out that he's from Canada and they have different things. They don't have guns up there and anything like that, right? But like, I'm thinking, like, from the stance of like my wife is a smaller statured person, and people don't understand how, like, we as athletic men don't necessarily have that frame of mind. Like I was talking to my wife about this the other day. Like the last real fist fight I got into, I was working in the bar business, and I remember even thinking like, this guy's drunk, and I'm pulling up, basically like I'm not throwing as hard as I can because like I don't want to really hurt this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, a 5 foot tall, 5'1.5" tall woman who weighs like 115 pounds, they don't have that option. They go ham every fucking time because in their like they have to, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Like it's a survival instinct. Like you're literally a person that most of the time is going to outweigh them by a good 80 pounds, 50 to 80 pounds, and you can easily overpower a woman. Like, yeah, she's thinking survival mode right away when you awkwardly walk up and be like, hey, can I get your number? Like,
can I get your number? Like,
I'm just trying to get gas. No, let me get your number. Like, no, okay, I'd rather not. Like,
I was surprised. Not only was I surprised that video got made, like, because he does have a team of people around him that help him make videos. I was surprised it stayed the fuck up.
Yeah, and
I really was.
He has it pinned on his profile to the top. Yeah. That's my problem with it. I'm like, Greg, you're literally just enamored in that, like, this horrible take now. Because the first thing I clicked on, and when you can tell when you can tell like a video is not being received well, like say you go on there, it's got like 100,000 likes, but it's got like 10,000 comments. It's getting ripped. Yeah. So you go to the comments right away. I'll pause the video, and then like that way I don't have to hear the video playing in the background. But I go right to the comments right away, and like thank God everybody was holding him accountable for that video. But I was like, why is it still up though? Like, but look, bro. Like
I really think that he's a even if it's bad publicity, it's publicity type person, which is fine. I mean, like I don't agree with a lot of what he says. There's some stuff that he says that I do agree with. I just don't like the fake character. He's a person that talks about, being so real and you can trust me and all like that, while talking to people in a fake voice with a fake personality. Like, I just find that to be like anybody that, like, it's like the dumbest audience ever to fucking be, oh, you're real trustworthy as you speak to me in a fake voice with a fake personality. Like, what the fuck? But beyond that, like I don't fucking care. And I will say this: anybody that has spoken up about like freedom and stuff like that, or anything that's going on, to me, 2020 rewrote all that shit, like all that shit, you know. And so I don't have a problem. I'm just not gonna like. People are like they're giving him a hard time. I'm like, because he fucking deserves it.
Yeah,
Like, fuck.
Like if I made a horrible take on that or something like that, and I posted that video, I'm not gonna sit there and message Alan and be like, "Oh, Alan, I need help." He's gonna be like, "You shouldn't have fucking said it."
Yeah, you should have fucking said that stupid ass shit, you know. But like, I mean, I find that to be odd. Like, but again, I give him all the credit because he did speak up on his Instagram and shit like that. So, and I truly don't give a fuck about the fucking YouTube fitness drama shit like anymore. Like, and that's why I don't make a lot of reason why I don't make those videos either. Like somebody was asking about obese to beast John. Like John's doing his thing. He's a fake character now. He's a big woke guy. Like. Welcome, guys, gals, non-binary pals, blah 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 blah. Like, I mean, tell me what videos to make and this and that. Like, fucking, you know, we've reached a stage where it's like there is so much other shit going on in the fucking world. Like, there's real shit happening. You know what I mean? Like, people are drawing sides. You know, like they really are. I think in this next year or so, the 2022 elections are going to rip the country apart. I believe.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
But there's not going to be a way in the world for fitness people not to pick a side. Like people that just make the regular content, the massive, overwhelming, you know, like request for them to pick a side in the comment sections are going to be deafening. It's going to be so loud.
Yeah, you can only ignore the elephant in the room for so long before being like, hey, you're purposely ignoring it, and now we're questioning why you're ignoring it.
Yeah. Like, well, and you watch, this is another thing too. Anybody that goes over, any of these social media people that go over and start releasing content on Trump's social, if Trump's social does in any way any good, like if it's get popular in any way, anybody that makes content on there will be considered an enemy of the woke.
Well, not only that, I've actually had a buddy that reached out and talked to me about a thing that's kind of in the background and it's not being talked about a lot. But like, if you are on a social media platform that's considered, you know, right or, you know, far right, not is, but is considered.
Mm-hmm.
That, I guess there's going to start being kind of a purge from the other social media platforms of the people on those platforms.
Wow.
And I was like, I did not know that was something that was going to possibly come up in the future. I was like, that's definitely something I want you to keep me informed on, because he was telling me about that was why Facebook did their rebranding and everything too recently, because I brought up to him about how I'm having posts removed off my personal Facebook from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that wasn't even that bad of a post. Like, what's going on here? Like, that was like, I had one removed because it was Kermit the Frog hanging himself. And it was like it was a joke about, like, you know, I posted it for Valentine's Day, and it was like, hey, honey, said something about, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt because it's not that big anyway. And then has him like hanging himself. And I was like, because obviously I can't say what exactly the meme said.
Right.
But they pulled it for suicide prevention. Not even for like what was in the meme, like the words. It was, they thought and then they gave me like Facebook's like, do you need somebody to talk to? And tried to reach out like here. And
they don't do that to me at all. They just tell me I'm not allowed to talk for 30 days at a time. So they're like, fuck you. You know, like I recently reopened the it used to be the Everyday Fitness Facebook group, but I recently reopened it. It's now just called Alan Roberts. And it's like still got like 10,000 members in it. I don't know how many people are engaging or not. But like within 3 hours of reopening it, I wasn't allowed to post on Facebook. It's just so. If you need that safe of a space, like, what does it say? Like, I don't understand how Facebook thinks they're going to make it. They recently just admitted in court that their fact checkers are just opinion.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
here's my other thing. Like, I've been telling people left and right, and I do have kind of a weird stance on, like, I don't like, not really weird, but I have a weird take on why I have that stance. I feel like you should be allowed to say whatever you want on any kind of social media, unless it's a call to action, which is illegal anyway. Mm-hmm. But that's the best way for us to weed out the undesirables anyway, is let them have their voice. But if you keep silencing them, say somebody comes out with blatant racist rhetoric, well, then we all know that person's a racist piece of shit.
Exactly. This is another reason why I fucking like you. I mean, because I have said this, my wife and I have said this for years. Political correctness is institutionalized lying. Okay, like
Yeah.
it really is. Like you're only supposed to say certain things in certain ways. Like here's my thing. Like I think obesity is very dangerous for our society. Facts, data, stats, like healthcare, everything goes to prove this. But if for some reason me saying being morbidly obese is bad for you, if that hurts you, don't listen to me or do something about it.
Well, and
To
like
try to silence me, to try to saying the word obese is like people are like, when you say obese, it's violent. You motherfuckers do not know what violence is then, because like as somebody that has experienced
yeah,
violence in their life, saying a word is not violence.
no,
You know, but I'm a big believer in that. Like, let people say everything. Nothing should be like the first of all, First Amendment. You know, nothing should be unless it is like you said, a call to actual violence against somebody. It should not be flagged for anything, because then you have the choice of who is going to follow. Now, people are like, but people might be influenced by this person. But then that's how they actually fucking think. You know, I mean, like you are not going to be influenced into being a hateful fucking evil motherfucker unless you are a hateful evil motherfucker.
and not
But
only that, by always moderating speech and everything, you have people ease into it. Because somebody just brought it up in the chat, and I did want to talk about that. You have people that'll ease into it, and so they'll slowly just get into your head, and then slowly, completely radicalize you to a certain way. And you don't even realize, like, now I'm being hateful. Now I'm being a hateful piece of shit. Holy shit! Like, I didn't even see this coming, because they had to slowly get you to do it instead of just coming out and being a hateful piece of shit. So they finally get to the point where, like, I can say it and do it this and get away with it if I say it this way. And I finally learned it. And now you're along for the ride, and that's dangerous.
And that happens because of the suppression of free speech. Like when somebody is not exposed to many different things. Like I used to do this thing when I was making all the roast videos. I would do that person's workouts. I would work out in that method. Like when I was destroying Chris Heria, I did calisthenics and nothing but calisthenics for like 2 months. You know, just to make just to be able to make sure I could fucking have his fucking perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then when I would move on to the strongman, I did some fucking strongman shit for a while. And then when I would constantly try to make sure I could get their perspective, so I wouldn't be just speaking, in a vacuum. That's why when I was saying Chris Harry is a god I've said it many times. He's a god on the bar. On his feet, he'd be my bitch. Still, like, I mean,
remember
like
those videos. Yeah,
he'd be my bitch. It's gotta suck that he fucking, knows that on our feet athletically, or as an all-around athlete, I'm 20 years older than him, and I would fucking dog him. I would make it any place but hanging from a bar or and doing a handstand. I'd fucking destroy this boy. Like, and that's because like I was able to get his perspective. When people enter like they're a microcosm of like wokeness, like sometimes like TikTok is, like that's how people, like, they think they win an argument by calling people a rancid mushroom. Like somehow you think that won the argument when I stated data and fact, and you fucking throw an insult my way and laugh, and your audience will say, yeah, haha, he's a rancid mushroom. Like, it doesn't answer back to what I fucking said. It just is an insult that I don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I find that to be kind of like a weird thing, where if we just allowed freedom of speech, if we allowed people to fucking talk, we would then be able to make our decisions. Like, I personally would rather know if a person is just a racist motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the beautiful things. I lived for a long time in South Carolina. And like down in the South, especially like the Bible Belt South, when somebody's a racist, they let you know.
Yeah.
They absolutely let you know by almost every other word that comes out of their mouth. And the fucking good part about that is they're a racist, and to fucking avoid them. When you go up north and people use code words instead of the actual words they want to use, you don't know if they're racist until you're like, oh, this motherfucker's racist as fuck.
Until they like slip them and they just say some blatant stuff, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
If you try to pull it back. Like, let's talk about this. Let's unbox what you just said here. And then people are like, you're looking into it too much. The fuck I am.
Yeah.
Did you not just? Oh, no. You got indoctrinated too. Like, we're gonna talk about this. Let's open up this box of racist shit they just said.
Yeah. In Pittsburgh, a lot of people, instead of calling people black people, they call them Canadians. Like, I shit you not. Like, I mean, and to me, it's like, you can't even say black people. Like, I mean, that's like, it's so bad. Like, I mean, and that's what, like, there's racist people everywhere. How they fucking present themselves is what I would prefer. I would prefer to know. Wear a white sheet, motherfucker. You have freedom of expression and freedom of speech. I have freedom to fucking not like your fucking ass.
Like instead of being a sneaky piece of shit behind your back, advertise that shit to us. So that way we know to leave you alone and not talk.
Exactly,
to you.
Exactly. The world would be a better place without political correctness. If everybody just fucking said what was on their fucking mind, the world would be a fucking shit ton better. It really would.
And I think that was trying to remember. Like, yeah, we were talking. I was talking with that to somebody earlier today when I was talking to the lady that's doing my merch and everything. And she actually is. I don't know if you've seen him. Have you seen Bar None on TikTok?
I have.
Okay, so actually his mom's the one that's helping me with my merch line right now, and we just launched a new merch store and everything. That's whose hat I'm wearing right now. And we were talking about it, and I think I kind of got lucky because on TikTok at first I was just trying to exist in a vacuum, and I was scared to let people see my actual personality because of how much people attack the wrong group, like the wrong person for the wrong thing. And I see how quickly one word, like if you have one hole in your argument, they take that entire hole and just make it the whole, like into a 60-second video blasting you. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was I told her, I was like, I kind of got lucky because we were talking about how when people start to let the platform get a hold of them and get too much and like give them too big of a head, they let the real them fall out. And you realize that it was a persona the whole time. Like they are really a piece of shit. And I was like, I think it was the exact opposite for me because I was up until the last 2.5 months, stuck at 200,000 followers. But when I started letting exactly who I am shine through videos and posting it and doing lives, that was the catalyst that people were like, oh, this guy, we like this guy. And I was scared to do that because of how much people just get slanderized and bastardized on there.
It is an interesting app. Like, I mean, again, it is. But hey, man, I see we've been on for like almost an hour and 15, and you know, I actually want to spend a little bit of time with my wife too.
Yeah,
so, but I would love to have you back on again. We could talk about other topics. I really fucking enjoyed this, man. I really fucking did. But also tell everybody where they can find your merch, shit like that, anything, and like your YouTube channel, everything. Your YouTube channel is the Ripped Redneck, right?
Yeah. So you guys can just go to rippedredneck.com. It'll have everything there. You can follow all those links via phone, desktop, anything like that to my Instagram, YouTube, backup TikTok account, everything. You can find both merch stores. I even had the link in there for this, actually. That was the top of the link. So if you had gone into the link in my bio, you could have actually clicked it and been directed right to this live broadcast.
Bye. Thank you very much. And you motherfuckers know where to find me. So, but you can't, you guys really should, like, even though I fucking think it's a trash app and all like that, you should check me on the TikTok. It's the Alan Roberts. Yeah, check me over there because I'm pissing people off left and right over there too. So,
and I already got the backup account too.
Yeah. MFXCOO. Yep. All right, man. Thank you very much, and everybody, thank you very much. Have a great evening.